Friends, fellow linguisticians and seekers of knowledge, I am going to make my presentation on language in the pandemic, and I call my presentation Language in the Pandemic in Elaborate Overview. The word elaborate will be discussed in the presentation. Language, no doubt, is the core contributor to communication. Body language and other things play the role. This language does by creating meanings. This is the expression of Halliday. He says language doesn't convey meanings, it creates. If we translate from one language to another, it is not like a bucket of water being put into some other bucket. It is new meaning being created. For example, the word uncle will not mean the same thing in every other culture. The meaning father-in-law will not have a separate word in every language. See, that is how, mother's brother and father-in-law may have same word in some languages. So that is why language creates meanings. Now let us start with Bernstein's concepts of restricted code and elaborate code. Both Halliday and Bernstein worked on these concepts and explained. In 1968, when he came to Hyderabad, Halliday presented a lot of material on this and said the people who do not use language in an elaborate way at home as children tended to be weak in the academics. So he said academic failure is linguistic failure. They don't know how to use the language about different things. Restricted code is the use of language on what is available in your presence, within your experience. Whereas elaborate code goes beyond that. That is what Hackett used to say, displacement. People speak about all kinds of things and might be a great scholar. 80% of his speech and writing will be about things which he has not seen or which he is not very close to. That is the speciality of elaborate code. When we restrict our expression to what we handle in the immediate context, our code is restricted. When we transcend the barriers of time and location, our expression becomes elaborate. So I am extending this elaborate and restricted to further viewing. When we see things, we start with a restricted perception. We see only what we can see. Only later we start looking at what we have seen. People know the difference between look at and see. Later, first we see, then we look at it, then we cognize. We seriously ponder over it. And much later, we intellect it. Intellect is a beautiful verb which refers to very deep thinking, where different concepts are dovetailed to create a new idea. People like Panini, Patanjali, Sanskrit grammarians, Tolkappiyar, Tamil grammarian, Saussure, French, Broomfield, Sapir, American, Firth, Halliday, British, Pike, Hockett, Sidney Lamb and Chomsky, American. All of them reached the peak stage of intellection and built linguistic theories covering epistemological, ontological and heuristic dimensions. This is elaborate viewing. Pondering over and intellecting come under elaborate. Seeing is clearly restricted. Looking, it starts breaking that restricted wall. Elaborate viewing, here I bring in some other poetic British poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Elaborate viewing may include several inputs and concepts from what Coleridge called secondary imagination. He talks about fancy, memory, primary imagination and secondary imagination. Secondary imagination comprises a lot of imagination and thinking. And also may subsume what willing suspension of disbelief. See, most of the time when we intellect, we get our own doubts. Am I being right? We say, okay, let us think for the time being I am right. And then it continues. So that is why secondary imagination has some willing suspension of disbelief element in it. If we restrict our viewing and thence coding, not much intellecting takes place. Keeping this cline, again Hallidayan, cline of restricted and elaborate. Cline of restricted and elaborate viewing, let us seriously intellect about the pandemic we are all facing. Epidemic, endemic, pandemic. Pandemic has its value, different from epidemic, different from endemic. That's why the Buddhist theory of meaning, apoha, which is in essence reflected in our concept of system, shows we recognize something by eliminating what is not that something. A lake is a lake which is not a sea, which is not an ocean, which is not a river, which is not a stream. It is lake. Anyapoha theory, very famous Buddhist theory of meaning. The pandemic has to be viewed from all angles and also see how this complex and comprehensive viewing gets reflected in wording, clausing and texting. Texting means creating the text, not sending the text. So this Bernstein-Haldane concepts of restricted code and elaborate code I have extended to elaborate viewing, restricted viewing and restricted discussion and elaborate discussion. The COVID-19 originated somewhere. It has been seen that a Telugu speaking saint, Telugu is my mother tongue, Telugu speaking saint Srimad Virat Potuluri Veerabrahmendra Swami predicted long ago that such calamitous thing will come from north-eastern direction and millions will succumb to it. Same is the case with Sylvia Browne's End of Days, recent production, but much before Corona started. Such predictions constitute the first parameter of prediction of destiny. What I am now doing is how to look at the pandemic in a comprehensive way. It should be done in terms of certain parameters. The first parameter is parameter of prediction / destiny. What has really caused the release of the virus is the second parameter. It is from a lab or a bat will be part of discussion. The other day I read something, the kind of radiation created by all kinds of advanced inventions like computer, 5G, all that. Someone has said that kind of heat has also contributed to the release of this virus. That is research. That is intellecting. That is elaborate viewing. It will not be unimportant. See how careful I am. I am not saying it is very important. It will not be unimportant to raise the issue of, because there is some problem here, I want to be careful. It will not be unimportant to raise the issue of how many universities and how many labs of which countries can be credited, inverted commas, ironical, irony, ironical, can be credited with the creation of this virus. So many stories have come up trying to recognize different conspiracies and conspirators and their business interests, and those will constitute the third parameter, which closely follows the second parameter. Many of the social media do refer to all kinds of people and blame them, but a good academic will be careful before totally going in for that. So he can refer to it in a very careful way so that no one would say he is being bought by this fake media. How the governments of different countries handle the situation, both within the country and across the country, is of great importance. That is intra-country and inter-country. And this will be the fourth parameter. If someone is going to discuss in detail, think about it in an intellecting way, these parameters, this kind of parameters will have to be kept in mind. The complexity of handling the pandemic situation within the country is not less problematic than handling across countries. The medical handling of patients and the research associated with it constitutes the fifth parameter. Here, the availability of medicines, infrastructure, doctors and other staff will have to be evaluated. Here I would like to bring in something else. There are alternate systems of medicine and medication which can be used for this. For example, homeopathy can be used, Indian Ayurvedic system can be used, the Unani system can be used, allopathic system can be used. All these things can be used to take care of the patients and also conduct some further research. I don't feel, well, you may say it's not very modest, but I would like to say something. Besides being a student of linguistics, I am a student of law. I have done a second PhD in law. I am also a student of homeopathy. I did my special homeopathy course in 1975, wrote an examination and passed. So I give homeopathic medicines to friends and relatives. Recently for corona, I have used homeopathy for my granddaughter. Here I would like to say something. COVID-19 or corona, whatever name you give, is not a single disease. It is a name given to a disease which is a complex bundle of symptoms. The symptoms may be associated with heart, pulse rate may go down. It may be associated with lungs, saturation may go down. It may be associated with the whole body, clotting may take place. That is where different systems will be of great help. As I have seen in the case of my granddaughter, who has recovered wonderfully. First she used for 3 days allopathic medicine, then only homeopathic medicine. That is the fifth parameter, medicine's medication. The next parameter, the sixth one, is the successful preparation of vaccines and other medicines by the scientists with the help of governments and business houses. I just read this morning, Pfizer vaccine was brought into the picture by a scientist whose grandparents were originally the Jews but from Greece. That is how background research also will be beautifully conducted, and how one country doesn't do everything. So many countries will be playing the negative role as well as positive role. The seventh parameter, seventh and eighth are different. The seventh parameter is how the politicians in power and the politicians in a bhava. Bhava means if they are not in power, they are resting, but very active otherwise. In a bhava, use it for their existential situation, reality and growth. Politicians have a serious problem. Their own growth, they seem to think, is dependent on others' failure. The language they use and the text they create, in some cases, end up as self-destructive. Politicians in England may not fully realize this. In many countries, politicians use very bad language against each other. And the 3 years I spent in England, 69 to 92, 69 to 72, I was surprised they don't use bad language. I remember one beautiful expression of Edward Heath. He was saying, "Oh, James Callaghan, very clever. An Englishman with an Irish surname contesting a Welsh seat, nothing more." Whereas many other countries, politicians use bad language. And Britain, it rarely takes place. Rarely. And if someone says immediate, others will say, "What is this? That is not appropriate." That's it. Okay. Because I remember in 1971 when our Bangladesh war was going on, the newspapers were so objective to the extent possible, though they were taking slightly sides, but very carefully. Very careful. The media, either independently or representing some interest, play a great role, both positive and negative, indirectly or directly, in helping people or the forces using the voters for their political or economic interests. Media thus is the eighth parameter, keeping its eyes on the governments, on the population, the medical profession, scientists, the business houses, with their look which not all can understand easily. Might be this kind of look is called an owlish look, sometimes scaring. The ninth parameter is of the academics, who try to comprehend what is happening and discuss it comprehensively in their lectures and papers. One might be tempted to say that the academics have a comprehensive or narrow, sometimes deliberately chosen look at a given topic. Some people choose a narrow topic so that they can exhaust it. Some people want to be a bit elaborate. This one may be tempted to say is a merger of bird's eye view with a lion's review, constituting an Hegelian look. Hegelian look is less caring than the owlish look. The people who operate within the range of the 9 parameters develop different registers comprising elaborate discussion strategies but restricted technical limitations. They may be elaborate in their outlook and collecting data, but when they create terminology, they choose for their register. So some kind of restriction comes in. And the students who follow big scholars, they become restricted. They only say, the theoretician I follow says this, I follow this. Whereas Halliday has taught us to be elaborate, to bring in all kinds of things into our discussion. Language gets used in very many ways to suit the content of the chosen parameter. Besides, the 4 levels of mens rea is a legal term, means mental element, mens rea. Purpose, knowledge, recklessness and negligence. These 4 levels of mens rea also play their role in deciding the use of language. The encoder's use and the decoder's comprehension are both subject to their subjective perception and conception, and also the choice of the audience the text is intended for. గురు తొందరగా నేను కట్ చేస్తే కూడా అయిపోలా. Let's take the example of a journalist going to the cremation ground using a video camera to show the number of corpses of the ground, all waiting indefinitely for cremation or burial. Her intention may be to tell the home audience that the situation is serious and people should not ignore using masks and maintaining physical distance. I don't use the word social distance. Physical distance. The decoder, however, may surmise that our intention was to tell the home audience and also the audience abroad that the government of the country failed miserably and might also intentionally fail to control COVID-19. The reality is always difficult to completely and correctly comprehend. I will give a personal example of the decoder's cognizance. I'll give a personal example of the decoder's cognizance. Here I just showed, I think half a minute or 1 minute, song of Jennifer Lopez's Love Don't Cost a Thing. Beautiful song. I saw it, I watched it several times. The first time I perceived it as an erotic / romantic song with a grammatical deviation. Love don't. See, the English teachers, linguistics teachers, we look at faults first. And the last time I perceived it as a beautiful spiritual song, going from mundane small house at a cosmic world of sea and sky. Every aspect had a different meaning. The encoder creates his own meaning while encoding, whereas the decoder creates different meanings every time they listen, read or watch. That is why in Indian stylistics, the so-called critic is called Sadhridaya, the one with good heart, because there is no criticism. He just, for example, Hamlet, God knows how many interpretations have been there. Shakespeare, I am sure, never had all those things. He was the encoder, we are decoders. While encoding a subject of political, economic and social importance, the creator is guided by his own understanding, the intended audience, the purpose, and also his desire for the positive results for the intended subject and more importantly for himself. Many activists and secularists of India are selective in their choice of incidents or the topic to preserve their politically correct status and their gallery value. When they speak, so many people come and say, oh, wonderful, 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 wonderful. That's the gallery value. Specialists working on such texts can easily identify the selective and sometimes data-free fake secularism. And as a result, the secularists do not carry the silent majority with them. If, with their pious intention of evaluating, actually maligning the particular government, the activists ignore the excellent work done by the medical professionals, scientists, and even the law and order officers. When they do not properly take care of them, they invariably fail in their purpose. An intelligent activist trained by good linguistic theories will not take to lavish use of language. But prefers a grace-saving midway. Sentences like, I am not unwilling to accept the claim, but I do not second it vehemently. After all, we have to think of the new data. You see, that is the smart activists thinking. But people who are already sold to certain ideas, they can never be intelligent. They don't use their intelligence. The use of language has to be appropriate socially, acceptable legally, and telling pragmatic. Thank you very much. I hope my presentation is appropriate, acceptable, and telling. Thank you. అయ్యా ఇది ఆఫ్ చేయాలి నువ్వు.